I'm scared to take Benadryl because I get trapped in bad dreams. I'm like,
really?
Like I'm in a dream and I know it's bad and I know I can't wake up because I took Benadryl. Just they seem to get worse and longer.
Wow. It's like the Benadryl is the Freddy Krueger of antihistamines.
Don't say that. No, I'm never taking Benadryl again.
Hey guys, welcome to another fantastic episode of the Church Media Guys show. My name is Dave Curley, and if we haven't met, I am the founder of Church Training Academy, which is a website and a community where we all come together to learn how to use and exploit media and technology so that we can take the gospel to the world, beyond the walls of our church, out there in the interweb, so that everybody can come to the saving knowledge of Christ. With me, as always, is my tremendulent partner, Mr. Justin Nava. Good morning, sir.
What's going on, Dave? What's going on, everyone? Thanks for watching. Today's going to be a very special episode because it's episode 35. And if you know anything about earthquakes, 35 is a very special number. And I'm just kidding. I just totally made that up. I'm just so excited to be here. Like we were talking about how I just say things sometimes.
Yes.
Like, did he really just what? Wait,
earthquakes?
Back up.
Yeah. Speaking of tsunamis, we have a fantastic guest today. His name is Alejandro Reyes, and he is going to be bringing some really awesome meat about church video marketing. But before we get to that, guys, here is our pro tip. If you guys have ever been in a situation where you have like a piece of paper, you've got and literally it can be anything. Let's say you've got a receipt from lunch, or you've got some directions or something that somebody has given you. They've either written it down on a piece of paper or they hand you the manual for how to set up your camera in the church booth or something like that. It's in a binder or something. Anyway, you've got these things in this paper forms and you need to get it into a digital form so that you can basically have access to it anytime you want to. If you've ever been in that situation, what's the best way to get it into your phone? Now, you can take a picture of it, and have a nice little JPEG in your Google Photos. It's just going to be loaded with all these pictures and all that kind of stuff. Or you guys can scan it, right? So, I've got this big old HP Pro OfficeJet Pro printer scanner thing, behemoth, taking up a lot of space on my desk over here where I should have Star Wars stuff. But I've got this gigantic thing here. And it's got a sheet feeder, and so I could put like a small book in there and get it all just scanned and all that sort of stuff, which is great. Those things are wonderful. But, we're not always running around scanning 50 pages worth of stuff. So why spend $100 or $200 or $300 or $500 on a scanner unless you really need it? Well, there's a little app for your phone. It comes on Android and iOS, and it's called Cam Scanner. It's called Cam Scanner. And what it does is it uses the really high resolution camera you've got on your phone as a scanner. So it's totally free. Now they do have paid options, which is awesome. You can get like some of their cloud storage and stuff, but I'm still using the free version. And one of the things I like is that I can scan 2 or 3 documents and, just kind of back to back to back, right? Like you would in a regular scanner, take a picture. The software is then going to say like, hey, where's the corners? It's actually going to like identify the corners of the paper if there's a whole lot of contrast. Between like the desk, brown, and the paper, white, it's going to go, here's the corners. And then it's going to like do some magic and stuff and like straighten it all out. So it's a nice, pristine looking little picture. And then you can like stack these things together and export it as a PDF file. And there you go. So one of the things that I did yesterday, I was playing with Cam Scanner. I use it all the time for certain things. And I thought, can I make a manual for using my camera for the guy in the booth that is like the fill-in guy for shooting the camera? So I started playing with it, and I'm going to show you how I did that in our pro tip that we released this coming Friday. Anyway, it's really cool because you can scan, you can take pictures, you can do all that sort of stuff, and kind of on the fly build a little manual, which is fantastic if you are in the media ministry and there's a new piece of equipment or there's a new method for doing something. You can make these little PDFs right there from your phone, share them out to your team, update them when you need to, whatever. It's totally cool. It's called Cam Scanner. It's free. I love it. It is one of my go-to apps for getting real-world stuff into my phone in a paper type of format. You use Cam Scanner, right, Justin?
Yeah, well, I use it to share documents with you because I actually subscribe to a newsletter.
Right.
I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to get sued because I don't think we're supposed to be doing this. I subscribe to a newsletter and I scan it. I scan the information inside so I can send it to you because it is a physical copy.
Right.
You can't do this digitally.
Right.
So I want to, it's for. I'll say this: it's for Church Training Academy, but we have to send it to one of us, and so it's me. And so I scan it and send a copy of it to you. And also, man, if people are like me, I don't live at the church, I don't work at the church. I'm lucky to be there for 1 hour outside of a Sunday. So if I need to return a receipt, or for a reimbursement, if I go to Guitar Center and pick up a cable, or if I go to Best Buy and pick up a USB thing, admin assistant needs it by the 30th, and it's the 28th. Now I gotta find time to go up to the church and give her the receipt. Well, now I just scan it and send it to them. It looks beautiful. It's proportioned correctly. It doesn't look like the financial advisor is going to be like, what is this? Why does this look all funky? It's one of those things where it's like, you're not going to be using it every day, but for the things that you will need it for, you're going to be glad you already have it and know how to use it.
It's Cam Scanner. It's totally free. It's available on iOS and Android. It's a fantastic tool. Trust me. Get it. Yeah,
and before we go on to our main content of our show, I do want to encourage everyone to check out the Church Media Hacks group. This is a brand new group that me and Dave started as a kind of a way to give even more to the people out there that are on the front lines, that are having to deal with the shoestring budget, that need quick wins, ethical shortcuts, and sneaky tricks to get things done faster, easier, and like I said, on a shoestring budget. How does that sound? And because we know you're on a shoestring budget, you can't become an official member of Church Training Academy yet. We understand it. We get it. It takes some time to get to that point. So Church Media Hacks is a place where we're going to give some of our quick wins and our shortcuts and our, just things that we find that can make your job a little bit easier. There's other church media groups that you can join that provide a lot of value, but we're really going to focus on getting you where you need to go faster, better, stronger, and in a good way, cheaper, right? Because not everyone has 20 staff, and not everyone has even a $20,000 budget. That was my budget at a 600-person church, was $20,000 a year. And that was for all IT and media. And when you really get down to the media part of it, it wasn't even that. It was maybe a few $100s a month. And I know some people would kill for that, but there's still a lot of things that I could do for our media ministry with even just that little budget. And there's a lot of things I did when I didn't even have a budget. And so we're going to be sharing those shortcuts. In fact, one we shared yesterday was how you can get a backdoor peek into other websites to see what they're built on, what they're hosting. If you get an email from them and you're like, I really like this email, who's hosting their email? We share that in the Church Media Hacks. It's free to join. You can go to facebook.com/group/Church Media Hacks, search Church Media Hacks in Facebook, or you can go to churchmediahacks.com and that will redirect you to Media Hacks. We'd love to see you in there. Once you're in there, say hi. We're growing. We got like another 6 or 10 people.
Yeah, we had 15 people join yesterday.
15 people join yesterday. So it's
very
growing,
cool.
And it's just, if you love being part of communities and learn stuff at the same time, this is for you. So churchmediahacks.com.
15 people.
And now let's go on to the main content of our show.
And now for our feature presentation.
So our guest today is Alejandro Reyes, and Justin has actually known Alejandro for quite a while, and Alejandro is one of the movers and shakers in this church marketing, church media space. And I believe you guys are going to be talking today about using video marketing. Is that right?
That's right. And specifically video on social media. There's a lot of ways you can use video in marketing, but for churches to get quick wins and actually get a hold and start practicing it right now, social media is a great and easy and free way to get started. And then if you want to take it to the next level, get your videos out to more people, we talk also about how to actually put some money behind it, not very much, to start getting your videos marketed to even more people. Today on Church Media, guys, I'm interviewing Alejandro Reyes, and Alejandro has over 15 years of proven leadership in the area of online strategy and digital marketing, where he's focused on revenue growth, digital strategy, and direct response marketing. He has had the privilege of working with churches of all sizes on how to better leverage social media and digital marketing to grow engagement and community. Plus, but wait, there's more. He also runs a daily YouTube vlog with his family that has over 35,000 subscribers. Alejandro, I'm so glad you're here. How are you today, buddy?
Man, doing good. I got to take you everywhere to do that bio for me, man, whenever I go speak. Bro, you're going to come with me, man. How's things going?
It's going good. Me and Dave go back and forth on doing the bio live with the guest, and Dave is like, "Do the bio there, hype them up, be the hype man." And I'm hyped. Are you hyped?
Bro, I am. It's going to be so lit. It's going to be so lit right now, bro,
We
man.
gonna be on fleek, fam. This is what this is. I have no idea.
That was for our younger audience, y'all.
Once I turned 30,
but,
I stopped knowing what these things mean.
bro, I think I'm still cool, man. I got a 9 and an 8-year-old, and I know. I try to stay up on it, but I'm a little far behind. But man, super pumped to be here and excited about what you guys are doing. Appreciate all the work that you guys do to empower the church to be better at media. So, man, thanks for all that you guys do, and I'm ready to roll.
So first, in case no one's heard of you, tell me about kind of where you've come from, what you're doing now, and especially tell me about your YouTube, which just never stops growing, it seems. So give our listeners or viewers a quick intro to who is Alejandro Reyes.
Yeah, man. So my story's funny, man. I in 1998 there was this book by Bill Gates, said the road to it was either the road or path to success, and it just said by the year 2010. Half of every dollar is going to be spent online. And what ended up happening just kind of stuck with me. It's still with me in, almost 20 years later. And I just realized that at 98 that I needed to go online. I needed to figure out a way how to learn how to do marketing online. It just stuck with me. And it was one of those moments in my life where I'm like, I just got to learn marketing. And so I didn't have a car. So I used dial-up internet to try to learn how to do marketing and, try to figure out, download courses, kind of pirating courses and doing some terrible things to try to learn how to do marketing. And this is right around the time I started going to church, man. And really in the early 2000s, started helping my local church while I was doing full-time ministry with no pay. And in order to kind of sponsor myself instead of sending letters out like a missionary or something like that, I learned how to make money on the internet, and it's almost 20 years ago now. And so over the last 20 years, I've been, figuring this thing out. I was really bad at it for the longest time. And then we were talking about, you have a 4-year-old girl. When my first daughter in 2008 was born, it just really lit, fire under me to like, man, I really got to make this work. Like I have a wife and we're doing okay. She works. So we got this double income. When I had my daughter, I was like, man, I need to not only do something, make money, but I need to do something that's meaningful, significant. And I really, things started really going like this for me. And I started a little agency, grew that agency up. We sold that agency because we moved. After 7 years of marriage, sold my business for my wife to go to nursing school so that she can pursue her passion. And sold that business, went to Seattle, worked for one of the fastest growing, probably the fastest growing, tech companies in the church space. Took them from 600 customers to over 7,000 in 2 years. And then in October, some friends of mine recently started a little agency where we're helping, some pretty large churches, as well as some of the authors and speakers that your, viewers probably have heard of. And that's kind of what's been up. I a lot of people ask me, what do you do for fun? I'm either playing like Fortnite or Xbox, watching a Netflix show, but most of my time spent nerding out on, I got a couple of these, books. I mean, like books on business, funnel you type. Like I just love any spare time I get. There you go. Any spare time I get. I just I want to be the best marketer in the world. That's like one of my goals. Like, how do I be the best dad and husband? And how do I be one of the best marketers in the world? And I'm always learning and reading. And so just have this passion to take this knowledge and really empower the church with really, really good marketing. How can we compete with Coca-Cola? How can we compete with, Twitch and these other big companies to get some attention for churches so that people can come to church on Sunday? And as you know, man, for me, I didn't grow up in church. And so when I heard about God, man, like my life completely transformed. And so there was kind of a Paul moment, an experience where I want to try to help as many people out as possible. And the reality is, bro, is that there are people like on a highway literally to hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're on a fast track and going there. And so for me, I get really excited about church growth. I talk about numbers. I love that stuff because people are going to hell. People need Jesus. They need hope. And I want to empower churches to do that. So that's what I'm really excited about. I help the local church here. And that's a little bit about me, man.
Whoo, all right. Yeah, I'm excited. Alejandro, let's just get right into it. What any church, big or small, let's say 50, 100, 200 people, what's the easiest, kind of the number one recommendation you make to just start getting video in front of people for the church?
Yeah, great question. So the first thing I'd say is, a lot of people, a lot of churches that small probably they may not record their services. I'll get to those that record their services, but one of the most simple things, like you have not because you ask not, like it's, you want people to go to your church, but we don't ask them. It's like, we think, I don't know. It's funny, man. It's like, we're going to show up on Sunday and we're just going to hope. We're gonna hope that people come on Sunday. And so one of the biggest things that I think a church can start doing immediately is just send an invitation out. I don't care if it's landscape. Like 5 years ago, I cared about that, but I don't care anymore. Facebook. I've heard algorithm wise, like they actually like the portrait mode. So every Wednesday, Thursday, I love the idea of just doing a quick video, whether that's someone kind of doing it for you or you doing it yourself. And it's like, hey, Pastor Alejandro, well, I'm not a pastor, Bishop Alejandro here. And I just want to invite you out to New Vintage Church this Sunday, where we're going to be talking about how to have the best marriage possible. And we'd love to have you. We have services at 9, at 11. We have kids ministry. And man, we just really love to have you. We think you're going to enjoy it. And then what I do is boost that, boost it for $5 or $10 to your audience. You can get really technical with Facebook ads. I think I've spent probably $6 to $8 million in Facebook advertising over the last 5 years. And so there's just a lot of really ninja things you could do, like target people that just moved to your city in the last 6 months. So just some really cool things. But to me, a boost is really, really simple and easy. And that probably takes you, you don't really need to edit it much. You can use something like InShot or something, a mobile app to do that. But try to start inviting people. And then the second thing on the follow-up to that is on Monday, I like the idea of doing some sort of Facebook Live or maybe Instagram Live where you're doing a recap. Because, people have this fear of missing out. And, that recap could sound something like, hey, this weekend, man, we had an amazing time at church. You hyped up this interview. Like, you got to hype up how awesome it was. Like, man, we had an amazing service. We had 15 people come to know the Lord, amazing worship. And, I had this message about, giving people hope. And the one big idea I want to share with you tonight on this Facebook Live is XYZ. So I think like those two quick, videos, they're not very hard. They're simple. Can actually start getting people outside of those four walls that don't necessarily come to church or come to church often, can get in front of them. And hopefully that can be shared and people would end up showing up to a service by some advertising or something. So those are probably the two really easiest things that I would say.
Yeah, I really like that because you say it's just get your phone and just go live and just be off the cuff, but in a good way, because you don't have to worry about scripting, production value, bullet points, your mark here. It's authentic, it's real, and that's really what people want to see today, right? Because they don't want something that's like, oh, is the pastor wearing makeup for this? It's not real. We're seeing past that now. So I really like that. Now you mentioned boosting it. You talked about just boost it to people in the local area. Could you get more creative with that and do a specific invitation to I know I like to get a woman to invite you to church, and then I will boost that to just women. So it's like women seeing women being invited, or a mom, and I will boost it to moms. Do you have any other kind of ninja tricks, like real simple, not complicated retargeting or anything, but just ideas to get more personal with that Facebook invite?
Yeah, good is just doing it. Better is being, a little bit more targeted. And we talk about segmenting in marketing, like targeting the right niche, which what Justin's not saying is like have a woman 31 years old targeting men. Like that's not what he's saying. It's the opposite. So like a guy, maybe it's a men's event. Here's the biggest thing. So the tactical, I love all that stuff. but more importantly than the tactics is really like what I talk like direct response type marketing. You're familiar with this. Is you got to give people a reason why to come. What's the one big idea? So your church has a big idea that separates it. Your unique positioning versus every other church in the city, and then each campaign, each video, should have some sort of big idea. So what's the big idea of this? I was talking to church recently, helping with Easter. And, for me, I'm talking, hey, what's the big idea of your church? Church of about 4,000 people in the Seattle area. And, I'm like, what makes your Easter service different? We got to find the one thing. If we're going to put some advertising dollars, there's tons of options for people to go to. How do we get people to go to your church? And they're like, well, we're very welcoming. We're like a place to belong and people feel real welcome. I'm like, that's awesome. Every church should be that. And I was like, what's the thing that no one else does? She's like, well, we have this little thing where we have a helicopter fly over and drop Easter eggs. One year we had a bunny skydive, and I'm like, is anybody else doing that? And they're like, no, we're the only church that does it. I'm like, that's your big thing. And so whenever you're creating a video, like what's the main benefit? What is the one thing? So if it's men's, it's like, hey guys, Alejandro Reyes here, and I want to invite you out to a men's event. And we're going to be having a special guest, pastor or, police sergeant, so-and-so going to come talk about how the community can work together. It's going to be so amazing. You're going to get your questions answered about blah, blah, blah. But all that to say is like, you got to have a big idea. Again, the tactics are really simple and we can learn that stuff, but you got to start thinking about what is the one thing that can get someone excited, the thing that's unique about this, the thing that's going to benefit them and really make their life better. And that's kind of what I would say and answer that question.
So moving past Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is kind of the same, but completely different because videos can only be a minute long. Stories are 15 seconds long. How can we use video for the church on Instagram? Right now, it's the number one growing platform, right? Yeah. And number two overall behind Facebook. So how can churches get into video on Instagram?
Yeah. So a lot of pastors I talk to, man, like that's for the younger folks. That's for like our college age and high school students. And it's just, and so what I would say to that is everyone, and I got my youth pastors and young millennial to listen to this, but to listen to this person, but Carrie Newhoff. I recommend everyone in the church that's a pastor, or if you want to get your pastor to learn and start using it, is to follow Carrie Newhoff. He does a phenomenal job with his Instagram stories. And really what social media has done is it's peeled back the layer a little bit and allowed us to connect with people we look up to, people we watch on TV, people that are pastors, and like that stage is like, there was that, kind of the Wizard of Oz behind the veil, and social media is really kind of, remove that. And the cool thing about Instagram stories is it feels real. It feels authentic. It feels like, man, I'm right there with this person. And so a lot of people are like, what do I talk about? Just live your life. Just, hey, I'm here with someone in our church. His name is so-and-so. He's got a business, and come introduce yourself to Justin. This Sunday he runs a really cool media company. Blah blah blah. And so Carrie does a phenomenal job. So I would say stories are a really good way to build some trust and credibility with your audience. People, especially people that are unchurched, they're still trying to figure out who is this pastor. They see people like on TV, just to be honest with you, unchurched people see things like during a Houston flood and they're like, oh man, all pastors are like Joel Osteen and he's the worst ever. And like, that's just ridiculous. Like, so people are judgmental. They're always trying to hold you to a higher standard. And so to build trust, Instagram stories is just a great way, or going live on Instagram is a really, really cool thing. So I think Instagram stories are amazing. You can actually do advertising on, via Instagram stories where it just a lot of really cool things that you could do with it. So I'm a big fan of Instagram. My kind of 1-2 punches, Facebook ads and Instagram because Facebook owns them. So the Facebook ecosystem is where I spend a lot of my time and a lot of like advertising dollars. But yeah, churches need to be using Instagram stories for sure.
Do you have any tips? Because a lot of pastors just they have time for one thing, right? And maybe you want to do Facebook and Instagram. Do you have any tips on finding someone or using someone else besides the pastor to do the behind the scenes, the Instagram live, the Instagram stories? Who's your go-to if it's not the pastor?
Well, if you can go to every church, I would take you, your excitement and stuff. But yeah, I would find someone. We work with a church out here in California. Well, I'm my home church called Bayside Church, and they're about 15,000 people. And a buddy of mine, Robbie, we usually have him on all the videos, a lot of the videos that I request, because he just has so much energy, so excited. It's contagious. Like you got to have someone that you'll know right away. They're the kind of life of the party. They're not scared. They want to actually be on camera. And so it doesn't necessarily need to be someone on staff, but it's someone that is kind of a familiar face at the church. And so I would say find 1 to 2, like a male and a female, like for different situations, but find someone that's vested into the church, definitely a church member. And, that's one cool way to get kind of people locked into the church as well. They kind of have their thing at the church. Not only do they attend, but they also help out with some media. So that's what I would say. Find someone that's excited, that can be excited on camera. And yeah, that's what I would do.
Cool. So the last thing I want to ask you about is the other one is YouTube. So we've covered Facebook and Instagram as far as social media. YouTube is kind of a social media, but it's also the number 2 search engine, like you hear all the time. So people are searching on YouTube. How can churches use video on YouTube? And let's say beyond the obvious of just broadcasting or posting your sermon.
Yeah, man. I think this is really early for YouTube. And YouTube is making a lot of changes to be kind of more like a social network. A lot of people that use YouTube and that watch a lot of YouTube first more than anything else, they actually treat it like a social media. It's kind of, they would say that, right? But they're making a lot of features where creators can post to a wall and get comments like that instead of just posting video and then getting comments. So there's a lot of really cool new features that they're testing over the next 6 months that I think are very interesting. I think every church should be on there just from a search engine standpoint. Like you said, pick really good titles of your videos. It's not like weekend 13, 9, 8, 17, you know what I mean? Like the date or whatever.
No one is searching sermons.
No one's searching for that. And that's really good. Good point. Like, find things, write out things that people are searching for. And that one big idea, not like we talked about this, and this. We talked about this one really cool thing. But I think this is really early for YouTube. But there's a friend of mine, man, that I met several months ago that found me on YouTube. And his name's Trey Van Camp. I don't know if you know Trey yet. But Trey is a daily vlogger, a YouTuber, and he's a pastor. He's a church planner. So he talks about his life, and he talks about, and he doesn't have these millions of followers yet, but I think he's doing what pastors need to be doing, especially church planters. I'm talking to Carrie about, doing more video type stuff. And so the editing is fantastic. It's almost like you're watching like a Casey Neistat type of video. So I highly recommend checking out Trey Van Camp. He's a church planner. If you're a pastor, or you're someone trying to get your pastor to do more video, check out this guy's stuff. It's that his church plant is growing as a result. It's just really, really cool. But so outside of just the search engine stuff and posting your weekly sermon on there, I think some sort of show, some sort of, content that a pastor or a team at the church, like a behind the scenes, New Spring Church just posted kind of the behind the scenes for Easter. So it just kind of gives a different, again, peeling back the layers of the stage versus the congregation. It kind of brings people into the fold. In any way that you can use social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, to bring people to the fold and make them feel a part of it is always a big win.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you summed it up. Is there any other video marketing platform or something that you're excited for in 2018?
As at the moment, not Not really, man. Like, I try to. I love social media, man. I love it. First thing I do is check out Twitter trending topics in the morning. I check that, that and email first. What's happening in the world? Kim Jong Un. Okay, what's going on? Like, it's my news, man. What is Trump saying, or what is this? And so it's my news to the world. And so for me, I love this stuff. However, I think I try to find like 1 to 2 social media sites that I can spend most of my time with. And I encourage churches that you don't have to be everywhere. You just need to, find 1 to 2. And that's why I always say Facebook video, and what you could do with video advertising is just insane. And because Instagram is owned by Facebook, I kind of like that ecosystem where we spend most of our time, most of our dollars. But I'm also a YouTuber. And so yeah, so I don't know, man. Like for me, I like them all, but if I'm a church right now, I'm going all in on Facebook and Instagram. You got to use both of them. The funny thing for our church is our biggest thing is Instagram. Like, it's bigger than our Facebook. It's more engaged than our Facebook. So you got to figure out where your audience is at most and spend time there. In Ezekiel, it says he sat where they sat. So you got to spend in talking prophetically about Jesus, like you got to go where your audience is at most. And right now, the most attention for our church specifically, it's probably not for you maybe, is Instagram. And so we'd spend a ton of time there. We're actually going to spend a lot more money this year budget-wise on Facebook to kind of grow that, because I think that's an area we need to grow. But Instagram's where our church is spending the most time.
You got the church marketing summit coming up, and that's not just video, that's marketing, that's general church marketing. Can you tell them more about that and where to get connected with that?
Yeah. So, man, 2 years ago, just kind of looking, there's a lot of offline events in the church space that are doing some really cool things. And I was like, man, where's like a church marketing, social media type thing where maybe if people can't afford it or for whatever reason, time-wise, they can't get away, or a lot of church communicators and media folks have full-time jobs, it's hard to get away. We put together this thing in 2016, had about 27 social media experts, people from the largest churches in the country, to come in and talk about, how to use, what's their number one secret. If you're going to give a pastor or a church leader one secret to growing your church with social media and digital marketing, what would it be? And so this year we have 35 people. Carrie's on it, Brad Lomenick's on it, Brady Sharir, Jared, like some Haley from Saddleback. So it's going to be an amazing event. And we want to go like right now in 2018. What's like the number one, your best stuff right now to grow the church? So super, super pumped about it. I'm actually going to be doing kind of a Facebook little keynote on some advertising. I'm going to give your crew one really quick tip, real quick, like more of a ninja tip. Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so I'm going to say this right now, and hopefully you follow this for the ninja folks, right? So for the folks that like, give me that ninja stuff. You talked a lot of fluff, Alejandro. Give me some of the ninja stuff. All right, I'll give you some ninja stuff. So I never show the main ad to people that have not watched a video 50%. So I'm going to say that again. I will rarely, if not never, ever show my main big ad that I want people to see unless they watch 50% of my video content. So Facebook will allow you to create a video, and that's maybe, let's say, 60 seconds, talking about maybe teasing Christmas. Hey, this Christmas we have an amazing event for you. We have a couple special guests that you're going to want to make sure to come out to come out to this event. We're going to announce it in the next 2 weeks. So what happens is we'll spend a bunch of money advertising this thing, but we have a really cool video announcing that we have the Duck Dynasty people coming, John Chris coming, and Lincoln Brewster as our special guest. And that was actually 1 year we did this at my home church. But what happens is Facebook will allow you to show that video to create a custom audience. And you know this, Justin, a custom audience of people that have watched that video for 50%, 50% of that video. So they watched at least 60 seconds, 30 seconds of that 60-second video. And then now I just create a campaign 2 is showing people that are more engaged, the highly engaged people, the better video that we actually, the invitation video, the call to action video. So a lot of people will still use this custom audience, but what I'm trying to say is do not show your big idea, do not show your big ask and to people that do not watch a video for 50%. So for folks that are just brand new learning this stuff, it's like, whoa, Alejandro, go back and watch this again. But for the ninja folks, again, only show your big ask to people that watch your content or your most engaged people. And usually for me, it's 50% of the video. And so that's my ninja tip for you folks. I'm going to expand on that at the summit. You can get a free ticket at churchmarketingsummit.com.
Awesome. Alejandro, and if people want to connect with you directly, where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, come to my house. We're probably making tacos, like really good tacos. It's at Alejandro Reyes. Probably best places like Twitter and Instagram. It's also on Facebook. But love to connect with you. If there's anything you wanted to follow up on this, guys, just go ahead and reach out to me, man.
All right, I appreciate you being on the show today.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Dude, I like that. One of the things that he said that I had never really articulated was that churches just kind of hope that people show up. I don't know, man. It seems so counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's when we talk about marketing, it's just it fits so well with what Church Training Academy is about. First of all, number one is everyone needs to be inviting people to church.
Mm-hmm.
If you run the numbers though, it's a few years old now, but the last statistic I saw was from Tom Rainer, and he said about 7% of church attenders are actually inviting people to church. And so I actually did some math a few weeks ago, and I actually did the math. Okay, if you have like 100 people in church, and they have 7%, so 7 people are actively inviting people to the church.
Mm-hmm.
The average tribe is 200 people, which means that you can pretty much remember and feel more than acquaintances with about 150 to 200 people.
Sure.
So that's 1,400 people per person. So, for the church with that statistic is inviting 1,400 people in their town of 70,000. So you can say that we need to be inviting people all day, and that's absolutely the best way. And as far as actual practice and actual reality, you're just not going to hit everyone going with the person-to-person approach. Just not everyone knows everyone, and especially not everyone only knows the people that you're equipped to reach. So marketing it's not a replacement. It just fills in those gaps and helps get some recognition, because we also talk about it takes we know in sales or whatever, we say it takes 7 touches for someone to buy something. So, if you send them a piece of mail, they're not going to buy a car from you just because they sent them a letter. Just because they saw you on the TV doesn't mean they're going to buy a car, but just because they saw you on there. But when you start surrounding them and gaining their attention, mm-hmm. and saying, hey, this is one option that we offer. This is how we take care of you. Hey, one little thing, when you come get your car serviced, we have free coffee and donuts for you. Those little things, once you hit them 7 to 10 times, those really add up.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
the cumulative
one person can
message.
only invite so many people so many times.
Right.
But when you mix in marketing, and specifically like Alejandro's talking about direct marketing, you're hitting those little points in different ways, and like we talk about getting people's attention to get their attention back on the church and the things above, and that's what we're all about. So we're just finding new ways to just share the gospel and maximize your message. And that includes using things like video on social media to capture that attention and compel and attract people back into the church. And you're right. It's no longer about hoping. There's so many things going on now, and there's so many things to be worried about than there even was 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's for better or for worse. So we just need to get back in the mix, get back in the fold, be valuable to people, to show them the gospel. So if you want to learn more from Alejandro about marketing your church with video, with email, social media, how to improve your website, there's a lot of information out there, a lot of great experts on the subject, and they're gathering at the Church Marketing Summit. And if you look in our show notes down below, or wherever you're watching on your phone, you can pull up the show notes. We have a link inside where you can get a free ticket. Now, this isn't a conference that you like have to drive out or fly out and find, babysitter for your kids, say goodbye to the wife, pack your stuff, leave your office and have to go out of town for a week and miss a Sunday, take your vacation time. Have I expressed the
Wow.
inconveniences of conferences enough? This is actually an online conference. So you can sit in your office, you can tune in from your computer, from your tablet, from your phone. And while you're working, you can have these experts, talking, and maybe you get it subconsciously, or you can just sit down in the conference room with other staff and volunteers and watch these experts. I think there's like over 30 of them talk about church marketing and how you can do it for your church. And the best thing is it's free. You don't got to spend $700 for a ticket. You don't got to spend $1,000 for a hotel. You don't got to spend $1,000 for a plane. You got a free ticket. You just watch it all on your computer, and it's in later April. So when the show comes out, and you only got about 2 weeks to get that free ticket. So we'll have a link down in the show notes to get your free ticket for Church Marketing Summit, and you can just get it there and get your free ticket. They'll email it to you, and then when the event goes live, they'll send out an email blast, and you'll be able to watch it live from anywhere on any device. It's the coolest thing ever. And before we go, I want to give you an invite to Church Training Academy and become a CTA Insider. As a CTA Insider, you get, first of all, you get a bunch of bonuses. I'll get into that in a second. But you get access to all the courses and training that Church Training Academy puts together. That's the live streaming training that Dave puts together, the audio training, the podcast training, my church website training, and strategy training. You get all of that stuff. Normally, if you're not a member, you have to pay upwards of $50 to $100 to $150 to $200 for those courses. You get them all as long as you remain a member for one low price. And you get access to our CTA Insiders Facebook group, where people can come in and ask your questions about, what's the best gimbal? I have this budget. I have this computer. Where do I plug this in? What's causing this stuttering on my live streaming? Hey, check out my website. You're going to get direct feedback from me, Dave, and the other CTA Insiders who have been there, done that, and been in your situation. You're going to get feedback from them. And again, it's one low price, but we don't stop there. Last night, we had our CTA Insiders Mastermind.
The Mastermind. That was awesome.
CTA, yeah, it was awesome. The CTA Insiders, we all get together in a conference meeting, a Zoom meeting, and we share, these are our projects we have going on. These are the questions we have. We don't just we're not just like, hey, I'm always asking who's got a problem, who's got an issue. And then last night, as part of the show, we did a church website audit. We went through and we all put in our collective expertise here to get some direction on the redesign and how to improve that. And you get that as a CTA Insider.
Yeah.
And the cost, let me tell you the cost. Right now, if you get in right now, you lock it for a lifetime, $27 a month. $27 a month. You get all of our training. You get access to our CTA Insiders group, and you get our group coaching.
What are our other bonuses?
So for the bonuses, if you sign up, and these won't last forever, but these are quick start bonuses because we are still in the building up platform and you're getting in early. Not only you're locking in the super low price for $27 a month. Number two is you get a church website audit. So I'm going to sit down with your website and go through the main pages and tell you what's holding your church back, what's embarrassing your church, what's making people click away, what's not representing your church well, what people are looking for that's not there. And I'm also going to tell you what's working well. Like, hey, this is something that your church is doing well. You need to double down on that. And you need a second pair of eyes all the time on your creative work. And if you have no one else looking at your website that's been in web design experience for at least a few years, then this is something that you need. You get that for free. You also get a video content audit where you can give us a piece of your video content, your live stream, a sermon intro, a sermon net, an interview, a testimony video. And Dave is going to give his expertise on that and tell you, hey, the lighting is here, the camera setting is here, the live stream is stuttering. Here's how you fix it. And we're going to take your live stream up to the next level. So you're going to get that bonus, that bonus. Is there one more that I'm forgetting?
We've already got some courses up there. We've got some training. We've got, we're taking like all of our mastermind things. We're building out like an actual knowledge base around.
That's what it is. The membership archive.
Right. The membership, the mastermind archive. Yeah. So that is in process as well. So, I mean, it's just a treasure trove of good information in there. And we are going to be raising the prices. Now is the time to get in while it's still early, guys. Can't stress that enough.
Go to churchtrainingacademy.com/join.
So there you have it. I want to thank Alejandro for joining us today, bringing a ton of useful information, a ton of wisdom to us. Justin, thank you for joining me as usual. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. That was beautiful. You guys, all the stuff that Alejandro was talking about, the tips, everything that we're talking about, we want you guys to take all of this and go out there and change lives. So go out there and change lives.